We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Khalil Shakir, Buffalo Bills wide receiver. I think he's going to be a future stud in this league. Over these next couple years, I expect him to really take off at the end of the year, especially against the Dolphins. I am a Dolphins fan. I think he really stood out in this playoff game, just making plays all over the field. He's very well-rounded. He can make plays after the catch, works in the short intermediate game, but also can be a vertical threat down the field, has amazing ball skills to make acrobatic catches. For a guy who's not super big, I kind of was thinking, going back and watching some of the film, he kind of reminded me of Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then I went and checked the measurables, and they're the exact same size. Some similar athletic traits as well. I think Shakir could grow into that potentially and then become that type of level receiver, plus also being a little more of a vertical threat, while Amon-Ra is a little better as a possession receiver. But Shakir, he can beat man in zone. He's a good, intelligent football player. Right here, doing some really good work. He's just very advanced. I'll show you how he's advanced for zone and just understands what the defense is trying to do. But here, cover one versus the Dolphins. He takes a hard inside release, dips the shoulder to avoid getting good hands on him. So now he's even with the corner, and now he peeks to the inside, trying to sell this route. Gets stacked over the top. Corner's in good position, and he's just hand fighting, and then gets that nice subtle push off right there to create last second separation. Late hands to go up. Fully extended. This is great technique to finish at the catch point. I think Shakir has a really high ceiling to make, and he's just going to be really good. I think he's their second best. He'll be their slot receiver for sure, but I think honestly, sooner rather than later, I think he'll take over and be that second option. I think he's a more well-rounded receiver than Gabriel Davis, who's more of that deep vertical threat and will have his big-time moments. But I think Shakir can really take over and be one of the main options of this offense. Shakir, love him working intermediate from the slot. I think this is where he really can shine in this league. He's super smart. He's on the they're going empty here. He's on the backside of this 3x2, and he's to the boundary, and he just recognizes cover 3. Dolphins ran a lot of cover 3 last year. He does a good job of avoiding the curl flat defender to get rerouted, and he gets back on his path. And as soon as he gets past the 4 defenders underneath, right as he's basically even with them, he snaps his head around. Him and Josh Allen on the same page for sure. Just understanding that this is the weak spot of cover 3, the zone, and you got to get your head around early because this safety is coming, and it's the back shoulder. He makes the adjustment, takes the hit. Really good football intelligence on display from Khalil Shakir, and love that he can be on the same page as his quarterback. It's a 3rd and 8, and Shakir doesn't end up pulling this ball down, unfortunately. But we're showing this just to show off his ability. Look how much separation he's creating down the field. They say the ball hits the ground. To me, it looks like a catch. It's definitely arguably a catch. Just one of those things where the ball hits the ground as he's sliding, but he's got control of it. I think it moves just slightly, so they call it incomplete. But here, just the speed release off the line. Get up to field vertically, stack off the top, and you can see for a slot receiver, for a guy who's used as more of a possession his rookie season, he's a guy who can blow off the top of a defense. He's got 4.4 speed. Sell this route by leaning this to the outside here, and then just boom. You can see him. He tracks the ball well and good. At the catch point right there, and then it just, as soon as he hits the ground, the ball touches it, so then it becomes incomplete. But a lot to still on this rep, even though it doesn't finish. I think this is the types of plays he will definitely make in the future. Got Shakir as a point man in this stack right here of 2 receivers. He just finds a soft spot in the zone, does a good job dipping his shoulders again, and then I love his ability after the catch. Just getting upfield. You can see how he has got really quick feet. He does a great job. He's very loose in his lower half. It makes it hard to really get a clean hit on him. And his upper half is pretty loose too, dipping those shoulders, things like that. See, he dips the shoulder right there from 21, so he doesn't get, a big hit on him to, disrupt the route timing. And he sinks those hips, works back, attacks the ball, high points it, really good hands. He has strong hands, and then he's good anticipation to avoid that guy. Dip, get upfield, and you can see that he has a little bit of explosiveness with him as well. I've seen, the reason I kind of compared him to Amon-Ra St. Brown, because after I watched this play specifically, I remember seeing St. Brown run a very similar slant, just like this, how he attacked the outside of his release here, hard, attacking this leverage there, 2 feet, bang to the inside to create all that natural separation, take more of a flattened angle. St. Brown ran a route very similar to this, I think multiple times this past season, and then I looked up the measurables, and then they were the exact same height, maybe off by like a quarter of an inch, and then their weight was off by 1 pound. Athletically testing, they were slightly different, but this is a really good route. Like to see that he can do this as well. We see him, we saw him versus cover one earlier, and he didn't create as much separation, but made a lot of great plays at the catch point. This is a really good job selling this like you're going to go vertically. Get the corner to open up his hips, and once he does that, it just creates natural separation to the inside. He catches it, gets upfield, and picks up at least a few yards after the catch, but he does his job instantly winning at the line of scrimmage with that release. Football intelligence. Shakir understands that he needs to. They're going to be hot here. He alerts right away and just sits down, and then he gets up the field instantly. This is just good, smart football play. I know it doesn't seem like anything too crazy, but there's receivers who miss this. Him and the quarterback won't be on the same page, but he sees all this space pre-snap. The guy who usually be lined up at least over him, shade to the inside or the outside. If it's zone, man, doesn't really matter. But he sees him to the inside, probably recognizes it's going to be a blitz, him and Allen. So he just instantly, boom, right off the line of scrimmage, ready for this. He's a hot route. Good understanding. This is as a rookie. A lot of rookie receivers aren't doing this. And then he catches the ball, transitions upfield, and then maximizes his yardage, not wasting any time, showing off that quickness, trying to do too much. He'll break some tackles as well when he needs to. He has some nice low center of gravity. He can be a little physical, good toughness, contact balance there as well. Pretty well-rounded receiver. No real big weakness to his game. Like, he's not limited in any area. He just needs to be developed more to become, I think, a great receiver in the NFL. But I do really like Shakir in the slot, especially when he can work like just over the middle, down the seams, things like that, attack vertically. Having like a solid slot receiver like this that can also be, a vertical threat, it just really opens up things for your offenses, especially with Diggs. Like, you have a receiver like Diggs, and you can be like that second, third option going against, corners who probably aren't the top guys on the team. He gets all this space to work with man-to-man. Good job working the pace. And then once he leans in the corner, he does a really good job not being thrown off by the physicality. When corners get hands on him, he fights through it. Now he's over the top like this, ball slightly underthrown, and he's able to come back. Like, this DB has a chance to make a play because the ball is underthrown, and he attacks, uses his body to sort of shield him away, and then when you have to come back to the ball like this, kind of throw off your balance, but you're still able to stay on your feet. You almost use the corner to like bounce off, to use him to slow your momentum so you don't come off balance. Really high level work from Shakir, using his body, adjusting to that throw, and then still showing off the body control and balance to remain and get this touchdown. To show off this play just because he has some speed after the catch. Nothing too crazy, working like his little option route, recognize all that space to the outside, and then he ends up just turning this corner. Minka should have the angle on him right here, but you got to take really good angles with a receiver like him, because even though he's more of like a quicker guy, he does have some speed to his game. If you don't take the perfect angle, he can at least hit that corner, and that allows him to pick up an extra, 10, 15 yards than he probably would have. This is an amazing play versus Tampa 2. These types of plays why I think he can be really special. Making this type of contested catch down the middle of the field where you could easily take a huge hit, it's so important, especially for a slot guy, for a guy who's not the biggest. Like, he's not a very super small receiver, but he is not the biggest. And when you're athletic, usually when you're a smaller type of guy, you need to be either super athletic or really strong at the catch point, like in contested situations or just inaccurate throws. And he's he's a good athlete, but he's really, really strong here. Make this adjustment. This linebacker's all over him. 2 safeties to both sides. He's able to hang on to it down the field. Making those tough catches is going to be super important for this Bills offense, because they're going to be seeing some zone coverage like this a decent amount. Josh Allen has that arm strength to sort of, throw it in there versus those tight windows. So you got to be able to, make these types of plays, especially because Gabe Davis usually is going to be working vertically down the field. Diggs kind of does a little bit of everything, but they like to get him the ball out quickly. So he's going to be that guy that has to work in these types of situations. Nothing too crazy here at the start of this play, just sort of basic getting out versus zone coverage. Doesn't do anything too special in his route stem. But then the play starts to break down. He recognizes Allen rolling to his side, so he just sticks with it. So solid job in the scramble drill. But just really want to show him, he can, dead leg. He has situational field awareness too, knows where he's at on the field. He's just a highly aware football player. This is the part I just want to show. You can see this is usually if you see a receiver making plays like this, you know they're a natural at the position. This is something I always use as an indicator. Not because not a lot, even really good receivers aren't really great at this specific thing, but a lot of the elite top of the top receivers are really good in this area because they're all just naturals. Shakir, another guy who's very natural in that area. Last play, then we break down. We got Shakir right here working in the slot. We get to see basically them set up this screen for him on the outside, and we get to see him work after the catch. You can see a little bit of elusiveness. He didn't get to do a ton of this during his rookie season, but you can definitely see that it's something that he's capable of. He's got a good feel. He just gets upfield instantly. You can see the burst, and then boom, lower body. His lower body flexion just allows him to quickly change directions and transition upfield without wasting too much speed, momentum, things like this. So this guy over pursues just enough, and he takes advantage of it while staying square. Runs through the little arm tackle and then get back upfield, pick up more yards on a 2nd and 10 situation like this. He makes that first guy miss, and if you do the job of making the first guy miss without wasting too much time, then you can get upfield, get a nice little 14-yard gain there from Shakir. Really nice stuff all around. No big weakness to his game, like I was saying. Just needs to be developed correctly, used in the right way, and I think he can really take off and be a solid number 2 for this offense. And then if he reaches his highest potential, I could see him being like an Amon-Ra St. Brown. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.